Okay, I'm Gary Barkman. I was raised partially in Harrodsburg and went into the Marine Corps in 1963. Got out in 1967, pulled two tours in Nam. The reason I went into the Marine Corps is the judge met me on the street corner and he said, I hear your buddies have gone in the Marine Corps. And I said, yeah. And he said, well, you've never been before me yet, but it's just a matter of time. And I think it'd be a real good place for you to go. And for once in my life, I took somebody's advice. And I went in a hoodlum and they sent a man back. Uh, Pulling two tours in Nam was not really a lot of fun. I landed with the 1st Marine Battalion that landed since Korea, and that was at Da Nang in 1964. And we spent landed there at Da Nang, went on up on the top of the hills to guard the air base. And our sister battalion landed like 30 minutes later at Da Nang Airport. And then came back to States, and they had just formed the 5th Marines again. So they put everybody that came back right back in the same battalion. And went through the pay line one time, and they had this paper, and they says, sign this. And of course, you're always leery when they say sign in the service. And we asked them what it was, and they said, well, it's a waiver so that you can go back over. And we all said, no, I don't think so. And they said, well, we send you over after 6 months. And we all looked at them and said, well, that's 6 months. Well, 6 months and 20 days, we were on a ship heading back to Vietnam. And we played around up on the DMZ and so on for about half a year, and then wound up going into Chu Lai. And I stayed in Chu Lai, and then came back and spent about 6 months at Camp Pendleton, and then got out. Actually, it wasn't 6 months, less than that, about 3 months. And that's about the extent of what I've been in with the Marine Corps. I am a member of the Marine Corps League and member of the VFW and a few other organizations. Never really kept in touch with anybody. I really appreciate I really appreciate what they're doing here now. When we came back from Vietnam, first off, you didn't want to say that you'd been to Vietnam, because if you did, you're probably going to have a fight on your hands with somebody. I mean, no one said welcome home or anything else. It was 20 years later before someone actually said welcome home that I heard to a vet. And it's got better since then. But I mean, I think this is great. I'm in support of the troops, and they're over there fighting right now. And I think all these supports all the people that didn't get the chance, somebody to say welcome home and thank you. And that really goes down to the depths of my heart. I really appreciate that.
Have you been to see the Vietnam Memorial in Washington?
I went up, my girls flew me up, and my wife's sister was a colonel at the Pentagon and living there. So she took me all around. And we went to the wall. I happen to know some of the names. Had one name on there that was an in-law, Ronnie Megan, and it was a moving experience. I mean, you start down in the wall, and there's just a feeling there And I could never got through the wall without crying, and I don't think very many other vets did. But it was a point of being able to release stuff that you had pinned up for years, because there was no wind down at that time. That they just, well, you're out of the service now, and you know, kind of like the old song they talk about, they set all the ones out and let them gave them pills and let them hit the ground running, and that's just kind of what it was. And yeah, the wall was a very moving place.